to the outside of one car takes out. You've got Nebraska, Texas, and North Dakota running. Outside, Tyler Peterson flying on by Raylo, and Larson's right there with him. Halfway home, 50 out, 50 to go, and a slider there from Peterson. About to turn back down the hill at the line. Tyler Peterson to the lead. They head down the back stretch for the final time. It's not going to be enough. Your 2021 Modified Gateway International Champion is Tyler Peterson.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Dan. Welcome back to the fastest podcast on the planet. This time in video form. I'm sitting here today with Tyler Peterson. Tyler, how are we doing?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. We are officially a week out here from your Gateway Nationals win. Have things kind of sunk in fully? You know, have you been able to kind of take it all in, do the party and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, it's sunk in now. I just went out to the house today and stripped the car down because I'm auctioning off the side panels and stuff. So it's finally sunk in, and it's pretty incredible. That's
awesome, man. Well, that was a great way to end a wonderful season, a season that a lot of people, you know, would dream to have a career that has some of the things that you did in one season this year. WISSOTA points champion, you were able to pull that off by 1 point. You know, going into the season this year, did you have plans to do, you know, was this a season you were really aiming to do something like this, or did this kind of just all fall into place?
No, we just started racing like every other year, and then towards the end of July, I was keeping track of the points. Like, I'd look at them, and we were sitting in second. We're like, yeah, we're right there. So we decided to start racing pretty hard towards the end of July there, and we got to do it against the best in WISSOTA, Shane Zabrowski, and we fought him off by 1 point. Of course, it had to come down to the very last night, and I'm glad it's over because that was some stressful shit.
That was one of the best races that I've ever seen, was that last modified feature that you were in there. Other than that last race, are there any main points that you think were make it or break it points this year for you that you kind of want to point out?
Oh, there were a ton. Like, I can look back and all the shoulda, woulda, coulda races. Like, there's like 8 on my hands that I should have won, but we didn't. So it's not worth dwelling about, because I'm sure Shane had a bunch of those too. But we just had to capitalize at certain points when we did. Like, we got a new car that we started racing right at the end of July there, and I could do no wrong with that thing. So that was definitely a high point, and it was just like win after win with that new car. So yeah, it's the points racing deal. It definitely messes with your head, and you start doing the shoulda, woulda, coulda thing. But you just got to move on to the next night, and that's what we did, and came out on top just by a slim margin.
Early on in your career, I just kind of want to touch on this for a lot of the people, because I am an open wheel channel. I'm a sprint car guy, so a lot of the guys who may not know who you are, I just kind of want to touch on your career a little bit here. How long have you been racing modifieds? Kind of how did you get into the modifieds? Were you karts before that? Or, you know, how did that all come into play?
I had no karting experience at all. I did it one time before I started, and I got lapped, and it was super embarrassing. So that was the only time I ever did go-kart stuff. But we got in a B mod in 2011, and I raced that for 4 years. And then in 2015 is when I first started racing modifieds, and I've been doing it ever since. It's definitely been a journey. I can't believe I'm going on my 11th year racing already. So it's pretty crazy how long we've been doing it already.
That's awesome. 11 years racing, all modified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I raced Donnie Schatz' late model about 5 times this year, and yeah, that made me want to get a late model for a while there. But yeah, we'll see where the future brings us. But for now, just a mod guy.
Now, we talked about your WISSOTA championship, but WISSOTA is not the only sanction that you've been running with. I noticed you did some running with the IMCA Modifieds and the USMTS series a couple of times. What was it like running with some of them tracks and some of them series in comparison to running with WISSOTA?
Yeah, so I like the open motor stuff, the UMP, USRA, USMTS stuff. Anytime we can go do that and race against new guys, new places in the country. Like last year, we went to Illinois and did part of the Hell Tour, and that UMP stuff is badass. So anytime we can go do that, I like to go do it. Same with the USMTS stuff. I wish it was closer to us, but anything open motor, I consider our team kind of an outlaw team. We just go and do whatever we can. So yeah, anytime there's an open motor involved, I'll try to be there.
One of these events that you were traveling to, and I noticed you have some YouTube videos about this. And for anybody watching, I recommend that you go check out his YouTube channel. It is a fantastic channel. TPO's channel will be linked in the description below. But one of those videos on the YouTube channel there was your Arizona trip. And that seemed like a pretty special trip for you. Was there a plan to do that? How did that kind of all fall into place? That's a long ways from North Dakota.
Yeah, it's not close. It takes us about 30 hours to get there, but we've been going to the Wild West Shootout since it was in Tucson, and I think I've only missed once or twice since then. But we've had quite a bit of success there over the years. We won that event twice in my B mod, and then a year ago we won in the mod, and then we've got one win this year too. So it's a pretty special event to me. I love going to it. This year it's in New Mexico. We're trying to decide if we're going to go to Florida, if we're going to go there. But the second it moves back to Arizona, we're for sure going back. It's just, I don't know, it's up in the air. But yeah, that Wild West Shootout deal is really awesome.
And now I want to get into some of your future plans a little bit more, so we'll come back to that. But one of the other places that obviously was a little bit of ways from North Dakota was St. Louis. I want you to walk me through this because this is the main point here. It's the main reason I'm talking to you. That was an incredible week. I watched the whole week there on Flow. We were really rooting for you as somebody from around this area here. Why don't you walk me through that week, kind of the atmosphere, like you drive your modified right down through the city there. I saw some videos of that. What was that atmosphere like?
It's second to none. That's something that everybody should experience in person for sure. I'd never even been there to watch up until this point, so everything was new to me when we got there as far as staging to go into parking. I mean, we were number like 110 out of who knows how many numbers. So we got there at like 9 in the morning on Wednesday, and we didn't park till about 3. So we just rode around on scooters all day and waited for our turn to get in line and pull into the dome there. Got parked, and then my prelim night was on Friday. So on Thursday, I just got to take it all in and watch and see how everybody drove the track. So yeah, Thursday I just got to watch everybody, and I was a little paranoid about how my car was going to handle that dirt because it's like a BMX dirt and it's different than anything I've ever raced on. It's really sandy. But after my qualifying and hot lap deal on Friday, I was pretty comfortable and knew we had a good car. So that brought us into our heat race, and we ended up getting second in that. And then I had a good car in the feature too, but it got pretty one-laney, so I just got in line and finished third in our prelim night. Drew the number 2 for the big show, and the rest is history. Went on to win the deal. It's pretty crazy.
I think something else that I loved about that whole week was the massive amounts of drama that we saw there at the Dome. You kind of kept yourself out of all that, but I'm sure you had a front row seat to all that. Part of the drama from this, and I just want to get your opinion on this. What do you think about the midgets not being at Gateway next year? And what did you think watching those midgets?
Oh, the midget show was awesome. And if I was a betting man, they'll change their mind and they'll be back. So you heard it here first. I got 90% guarantee that they're going to be back next year.
There you go. God, I really hope that that's the case, because that was a great show. And obviously as a sprint car guy, we love to see the midgets there. Right. But now I want to walk through here the big show, because it was an unbelievable race. I've watched it probably 50 times this week in preparation for this interview here. You started on the outside pole. Now, first of all, going into that, how's your mindset sitting there at the grid? Was this just another race for you, or were you feeling the pressure of the moment here?
I'd like to say it was just another race, just trying to keep myself calm, but it's a big stage and you want to do well. So, I mean, just to have a good run there was huge, but like just off the start of the green, starting on the outside sucks because the inside can get such a better run. And Jordan and Chase took off 1-2 right by me, so I just fell in line into third, and I followed him around for a while. And I hate following. I never have patience racing, but I had more patience in that race than I ever had in my life. But I got sick of following, so I just started trying stuff, and we finally got around Jordan, and then just right back to the bottom because I knew I had to be down there. But yeah, there's about halfway through that race, it was hitting me like, holy cow, we're leading the Gateway Nationals, and I got to close this thing out and bring it home.
So in preparation for this feature now, And again, I've watched you a lot on YouTube. You've got some GoPro footage on there. Your driving style is, you're a fun man to watch drive. I love how when your left hand gets to a certain point on the steering wheel, your right hand is no longer a part of it, and you are driving with one hand. And you're aggressive. You're really going for it, but you're not racing on a lot of tracks like you're racing on in the Gateway. What was it about your driving style that you kind of had to change up, especially with, you said, like the dirt, but at that point in the weekend, it was bumpy and it was rough, and a lot of that was not in the groove that's on the bottom there. Was there any preparation for that to switch up, or was it just kind of, let's throw it out there?
So I'm a bullring kind of guy, but most of the time they're not rough like that. But I mean, a lot of people get like wound up about it being rough. Like they build a track in 4 days. I don't know what everybody expects. So we all had to race on it, and we just set the car up good for what we knew we were racing on. And my car went right around there. Some guys didn't, as you can see in the videos, they're just flying through the holes like madmen. But no, my car was really good. We just fine-tuned to what we were racing on. So I'm glad. I wanted to go to that race bad because that's the kind of stuff I like to race on. Like I raced Macon one time and I fell in love with it. That's another 5th mile racetrack. And I got River City Speedway, which used to be my home track. It's a bull ring. Watertown's a bull ring. So if there's a bull ring, I'm there. And I think that really played into my favor that week too.
Well, around, I think it was about with about 23 to go, you found something at the middle top of the track there, where everybody was running the bottom. Maybe they were kicking moisture up, whatever it may be. You found something and your car started to pick up speed there. And I think it was with about 17 to go or somewhere in there. You got, I think it was it Jordan that you got there?
Grabowski, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Got it. With a bumper, the caution comes out. When that caution comes out, what are you thinking? How are you feeling? And what's the mindset there for those last 17 or 16 laps to go?
I was glad I beat him to the line before that yellow, because that gave me the lead, obviously. So I knew at that point I just had to maintain, because you couldn't run anywhere but the bottom of 1 and 2. It was super smooth, but the bottom was just the best place to be. And in 3 and 4, I was running that middle lane because it was smoother through the middle. But then out of nowhere, Letford came on the bottom. And I'm like, how is he down there tracking me down? Because I could be like wide open through the middle, and he's just like coasting around there. So I got back down, and right when I did, a yellow came out anyway. So I just said, screw it, we're staying on the bottom. And it worked out for us.
It definitely worked out. You ended up pulling well, first of all, I got to say, pull it back a little bit here. You pulled an absolutely wicked slider, speaking of running the bottom there. Watching that we were in the shop, we were working on my car. That was nuts. You just threw that thing out there. It stuck. You made it work, and things ended up working for you. But then you proceeded to run wheel to wheel with these guys and then checked out from there. What was it like then? You know, the big moment, you take the double checkered flag, pull it in there. I've never seen a man more excited than you getting out of that car. How was that feeling for you?
Oh, I hope everybody in their life can experience what that feels like, because that was incredible. I mean, a lot of people leave after the late finals, but there's still a ton of people in that dome, and the crowd going erupt for a guy like me who I'd never even heard of was phenomenal. And I had a group of people, and I think it was corner 1 chanting TPO, TPO. I'm like, this is second to none. And, yeah, it was an incredible feeling. I'll never forget that. That's for sure.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. It gives me chills still here sitting thinking about it, because that was just unbelievable. I loved you falling on the car. Like this almost a snow angel type of lay down on the car. That was great. But something else that I want to speak about too, and this will kind of lead into your sponsors and all the people that got you down to that event, because I know there's a lot of those people that you want to shout out. The wrap, you talked about it in the video, but I loved that wrap. That was an unbelievable concept. I know some people gave you some smack because it's going to go down there and get beat up.
Person tell me, oh, why'd you put a wrap on for the dome? It's going to get beat up. I know it's going to get beat up, guys. I'm not an idiot. When you can display, Jake's a good friend of mine, and we can display his talents in front of the audience that we're going to have there at the dome, and it's going to be spectacular. Fully aware it's going to get beat to hell, and that's just fine. So,
but it looked beautiful there at the end. Who was it that did that wrap for you, and who else got you down there to Gateway?
One of my good buddies, Jacob Kane at Kane Designs and Wraps. We talk all the time about just racing, just being friends and stuff. So when the time came, all these special events, we try to do something cool. And we talked about this one for about a week, and he sends me sneak peeks all week long, and finally get the okay, and he pushes print, and that's what he came up with, and it was pretty freaking cool. So yeah, any like the Wild West Shootout last year, he did a wrap for us that was unbelievably nice, and he does killer work. So I appreciate the hell out of Jacob, that's for sure.
You know, that arch, I don't know, you guys shout him out really well, man. I'm sure the people of St. Louis loved that one.
Right.
But yeah, anybody else that you want to thank that got you down there to Gateway?
Yeah, I had some new people come on board just for that race in particular. JS Small Engine Jameson out of Bruton, Minnesota. He's good friends with Justin Vogel, who races number 10 street stock. Came on board, helped me out to get down there, so I appreciate him. Alex Scuffmiller at 4 Bar Transportation. He races himself. He's a hell of a wheel man. He came on board. Performance Auto in Fargo came on board to help us get down there. And then Jacob's dad, Dave Kane, who everybody should know, he's one of the best modified wheelmen in Minnesota, set us up with a good set of shocks for that deal. And they were fantastic because it helped us get through the rough and everything. So those guys and all my other sponsors that help all year long, all the time, I appreciate the hell out of everybody that came. There's a million fans that came from up here. I had about 25 people in my crew alone that were down in the infield after we won. So it was all around just a wholesome experience.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Well, coming off that Gateway win, what are your plans here going into 2022? Do you have anything that you know for sure you're going to be doing? Any plans? And anybody else that you may think maybe coming on board by any chance?
It's just gonna be kind of the same old thing. I mean, I got a busy job, so it's hard to just go race all the time. So I just pick and choose what we're gonna go do. Just mod stuff again. I know I'm gonna go race the part of the Hell Tour again, just because I enjoy going down to Illinois and stuff. So we'll do that. We're gonna go somewhere in January, but I don't know if it's East Bay or Vado. I don't know for sure what it's gonna be yet, but just gonna race. That's what we do. Just sit and race and see maybe if the points end up close again by some chance next year. We'll try to run for that again at the end, but we're not gonna run hardcore like we did this year because that about killed me. So just gonna do mod guy stuff. That's all we're gonna do.
Well, Tyler, I can tell you this much. You have a newly found fan base. Everybody I know, we've all been talking about you here for the last week. You're really repping us up here. You're showing a lot of love to everybody, and it was awesome to see you down there. Now, I got to ask you one more thing before I let you go. What are the chances that I could get Tyler Peterson into a sprint car at any point, even just a hot lap?
I don't think I got balls as big as yours because there is no fucking way I'm doing that.
I would love to see it, man. Yeah, I think we just got to get you out to Arlington. We'll have you run some hot laps, and we'll see what happens. You know,
we'll think about it.
Awesome. Well, again, man, I appreciate you joining me on a Sunday night here. It was really awesome talking to you. It's really cool to see somebody like yourself making big waves in the racing community. And I hope that next year it brings as much success as this year did.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, no problem, man. You have a good night.
You too.